Hi everybody, Ross of My Hammers 11. Hope you're safe and well. New channel, please consider subscribing, hitting the bell icon so you may have any time put new content on. As always, we'd like to thank our channel sponsors, Untuck It. Today's guest, we do well on this channel. We have some great, we've interviewed lots of former Hammers as well as fans, but lots of former Hammers, and we've got another one today. He's dressed up for the occasion as well.
I've just been for a walk.
All right, Steve. All right, Stephen. All right, mate.
Untuck it.
Yeah,
there you
exactly.
go, sponsor. There you go. I've named your sponsor as well.
Very good, very good. They'll be happy. But anyway, for those of you who don't know, we've got Mr. Stephen Bywater. Made almost 70 appearances, first 7 appearances for the club. A long time, 8 years it was at the club. And he's just been out for a walk. So how are you, Steve? How are you, mate?
Good, thanks. Yeah, I'm just been out for a walk, bit of fresh air, get a bit of sun before it goes down. It seems to come and then goes. So I just literally nipped out, and I looked at the clock and I thought 2 o'clock. So I'm here and I'm early.
Yeah. That's right. He's on time as well. God, that never happens when I interview footballers as well.
Good.
How have you been, mate, in between this sort of weird world we live in at the moment?
I've been great. I've been just focusing on just myself, really. Not being able to go out. So what I'm going to do? Sulk about it? No. I'm going to do some press ups. I'm just going to keep fit. I'm going to watch the news because there's nothing else to do. There's nothing but news on, which is gossip, and just speak to mates on the phone, on videos. Just chill out, really. Make sure mum's all right, sister's all right, mates are all right. I've got everything for everyone if they need anything. So just look after everyone and just be chill, just be relaxed. It is what it is. It's tough. Do you know what? It's tough out there for people as well. But if I get in that mindset of these people here, these people there, you kind of get sucked into into a different person, don't you? You need to be just be aware and try and help, but you can't get sucked into the way things are. It's kind of like, it would be depressing, wouldn't it? Yeah,
totally, it would be. And you're right, I'm very similar to you. It's like, you just gotta stay chilled to it. I know it's nothing you can do about it, is there? I mean,
no.
It's a shitter for everyone who's obviously, like that. Talking back to West Ham, because we always do. It's a shit. Obviously, there's guys who have got tickets for the Crystal Palace game on Wednesday, and now they can't do it because we've gone back into Tier 3 and stuff.
Yeah, it's just a shame. I mean, I had a season ticket for Liverpool. I went to an auction. I went to James Milner's Foundation. His causes, his charities were amazing. So I donated, but as I donated, I got tickets for Liverpool for the rest of the season in December. And I thought, do you know what? They're going to win the title. It's going to be amazing. And then literally the world shut down in March. But the charities benefited, and it is what it is. And it's out of our hands. We're just little ants, aren't we? Little cogs in a wheel. So what are we going to do? Sulk about it or crack on? I know that there's a few pub, restaurant and bar owners that I know, and it's tough.
Yeah,
and people need to help and sort them out, and
it does. Yeah, we've interviewed quite a few sort of performers, like actors and stuff like that, and they're like, shit, they can't do nothing at the moment. It's
tired, aren't they? Yeah,
it is, and it's like they had maybe a 2-week period where we were sort of London was in Tier 2, so everyone went shopping and everyone went to the theatre, and then it's like, right, fuck it, you can't do it now, and it's like, so it's just it's just.
But you know what? I've been like the UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Championship. They really nailed it from the start. They got straight onto it. They put on shows in Abu Dhabi. They nailed it. And then the boxing came on.
Yeah.
And then the football kind of was ticking over. And it was like, you know what? It's, as a spectator and as a supporter, it was actually okay. You could from a distance, you could watch and follow something. So to be honest, I've been probably watching more sport than I've ever done. Yeah. So, and you appreciate athletes as they are,
Yeah, it is as well. I mean, it's particularly with the football, as you said, it's like, I think now people have become acclimatized to not going at the moment because it's been 15 games, really.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? It's ridiculous how many games, and it's just like, bring the crowds back when you can, but hurry up and put measures in place or whatever, or just everyone has it.
Silly. It does seem silly. You can get on a tube, you can get on a flight, you can do all this, but you can't watch a football match outside.
Do you know what? Even putting a face mask on and just going to the games, everyone would do that, wouldn't they? You know what I mean? To go and watch football, do something. But do you know? I actually don't know how it affects the players because it really is like a training game. So they've had to adapt because the competitive edge. I know I was lucky to play at Upton Park, you know, and the atmosphere there is like close and intimate, and it was good. You take that. Imagine that now, Upton Park with no atmosphere. I know they're not there, but I'm just saying from when I was playing there, it's a totally different. It's like the advantage goes to everyone. It's just, you know, the away team. And
I've been totally on that. I mean, looking at the Premier League now, I think it's no surprise that the teams down the bottom are people like Sheffield United, the Burnleys, Fulhams, all tight grounds, all small grounds, you know, where particularly sort of the teams going up, West Brom as well, where they need that extra 12 man.
It's like, it's 12 man. It's an impact, isn't it? It's not intimidating. It's just like an atmosphere. That's the word. It's an atmosphere that you know you're away. You know what I mean? You know you're away. But
it is, and I think there's no surprise that this, like the last weekend, obviously you had, you know, you had Fulham at home, you had, Burnley, obviously Arsenal at home, but Burnley lost. But Fulham obviously put a performance in against what's name, and Palace against Liverpool, I think. I can't remember. No, I can't remember what it was. But anyway, the teams that had fans, their team seemed to put a performance in, put a shift in.
A little bit of an edge. Yeah. Gives you a boost, doesn't it? Gives you a boost. But
but West Ham seems to be played better without any fans. So as long as, you know, it's a blessing.
Sometimes they do,
Well, they do at the moment, isn't it? Do at the moment.
Yeah.
We'll take that. We'll take 6th at the moment. Christ.
100%.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Let's go back and talk about you and West Ham, man. Because that's what everyone choosing for. They like to hear about you, but they like to know about West Ham, because that's what it is. Right. So obviously for those say less experienced fans, I don't call them younger and older fans, but less experienced fans, you might not have seen Stephen play, you know, because we have fans who are from all the way from, you know, little legs all the way up to golden oldies. So Stephen signed when he was 16 from Rochdale, I want to say.
Rochdale.
In late 98,
97, 98,
how did that happen?
Basically, I was involved in the England setup, so under 18s, under 21s, and West Ham wanted to see me, really. And because Rochdale are a small club and they wanted, obviously, finances and, you know, stuff like that, they let me go and train for a week. And I trained with Les Sealey for a week, and they said they'd like to sign me. And it was simple as that. And said, you know what? When I'm walking in change rooms at the time with Rio Ferdinand and Frank Lampard and all these young, amazing talents, you just don't say no. You've got to move out. You've got to move. You got to move out, haven't you? You got to go. Yeah. So it was exciting for me, but it just literally happened like that. But I think it was because I was on that platform of England under 18s, under 16s, under 21s, and I was at a smaller club. And I had an opportunity. And the opportunity was because I was a big fish in a small pond, being at Rochdale.
Oh yeah.
And I went from a small fish into a big pond, and it was an opportunity, and I was lucky.
Yeah, no, exactly. And as you said, walking into a change room, seeing people like that, and obviously then you got involved with Tony Carr. We've had Tony on the channel and stuff like that, as you know. And actually, he picked you in his 11, Stephen.
Did I?
He picked you in his 11.
Do you know what? We did set a record though, didn't we, in the Youth Cup final?
Yeah. Exactly.
But, what a nice guy, I enjoyed him. So
I remember that game, that Youth Cup final. God dear, that was mental. That game, wasn't it? The one at Upton Park where like you had fans all the way. They didn't think, and it was only two.
They didn't open the ground, did they? They didn't open the ground, and then
the fans like all around the touchline. Mental.
And they're walking around the pitch, getting and filling the stadiums. They like, do you know what? I don't think I've never seen that. I've not seen that in a youth game. No. Not seen that. Filling the stands. That's just true West Ham, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're on the telly as well, and they still said, "Sod that, I'm coming to watch."
I know, it's
brilliant.
Incredible. Yeah,
that's the things that gives me goose pimples. You know what I mean? That's West Ham.
Yeah.
I've been lucky.
Yeah, I mean, we've had like people like Bertie on as well, and obviously
Bertie Braley, nice guy. Yeah,
top bloke. And he was saying the same thing. It was just like goosebumps thinking about it again.
Yeah, it is.
20 odd years ago, and still, it's like they try. You know, it's like you were there yesterday. It's absolutely mental, and
because it doesn't happen that often, does it?
Nah, not like that. But it was.
You're not allowed to do that now, anyway. You won't be allowed to just turn up and open stands and stuff. You know, health and safety and stewards and all that. Like they just.
Exactly, and you wouldn't have no effing chance to do any social distancing with Upton Park the way it was it? I mean, at least London Stadium, it's like it's set up.
Is it? Do you know what? I've not actually been. I've not been. I've just not been. But people say the parking's a nightmare around there, so you have to get the train and all that lot. So.
Yeah, you have to get a train, yeah. But I mean, not being funny, you know, unless you were fortunate enough to get a player car park at Upton Park.
No, I used to park near the video shop round the corner. 100%, yeah. Even if I was a player, because it was easy to get out. Yeah, if you're parking, honestly, I used to walk around the back way, dead easy.
Brilliant, love it. I used to remember when we had who was it? When we had Lama, he would always leave. Like, I don't think he showered. I think he literally came out like off the pitch, picked his stuff and went, because he was always stuck in Green Street. Just as
smoking away, was there? Bernard Lamar. You know about Bernard Lamar?
Yeah, good old Bernard Lamar.
Used to come out to train, having a fag, putting it out, and just start training. Brilliant. Honestly, he just chilled. He was just so relaxed, and he was an athlete. He was.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, you see, you know, some of the guys you trained with and played with, you know, from a goalkeeper's perspective, you know, obviously, I know Sir Les obviously made a massive impact in your life, and as I said before, hopefully we'll get Joe on very soon. But I'm looking forward to talking to Joe. And you know, you had some great like Shaka, and you had some great goalkeepers, and you know, obviously went out on loan and stuff like that a bit, but still, yes, almost 70 appearances you made for the club, and you know, there was a couple of defining seasons for you, definitely those sort of championship seasons, for sure. When I mean, but obviously, for those you don't know, Stephen made his debut in possibly the craziest game I think I've ever seen at West Ham, and I think I ever will see at West Ham, the Bradford City game.
Yeah.
What was that like? Because obviously he broke his leg, you came on, and it just like
it was about. I'd literally just come out, because when I warmed up, I had a quick shower and I got my change, got ready, and it was just kicked off and literally went down, didn't he? Just literally 2 minutes, and he was like, "Oh my God, I'm on the pitch!" Right? It was like surreal, because I just got ready, not expecting to just go on straight away, and it was surreal, and it was just, you know, I enjoyed it, but it was more like I was watching it rather than being involved in it, and that's how I can only explain it. It's like, it's not shock, it's more like surreal. It was enjoyable. Do you know, if you're just in the moment and you just, this is good here. I got crowds there, you got the players there, you got the balls there, he's coming towards me. Wow, it's like it just went so fast, but I enjoyed it. But it was just surreal, and I never had a doubt we'd lose. It was one of them where it's so good that you get carried away, and it's just like, we're going to win anyway. Yeah, that's what I thought. I genuinely 4-2 down, we won anyway. But there were so many things that were going on that were on the pitch that just doesn't happen. And it's like, is this happening? Is Paolo really sat down? Is he really telling how he wants to come off? And like, people lobbing you, people trying to score from halfway lines. I'm thinking, it's like a console game, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's like a game of FIFA. Yeah, totally like a game of FIFA.
It was FIFA with all the without the.
Well, yeah, because I mean, we've had like people like Monks on, and obviously Monks scored, and I think he gave the shot away, he gave the penalty away, and it's just such a. I watched it the other day, and it was just like, you don't get games like that anymore now.
No, it was more open and just free, and just like, it was proper football, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was proper that. With your mates, football. That's what it was. It had everything. With your mates in the park, it was football.
It was that time as well where, I mean, for me, that was the most enjoyable time to be a West Ham fan, I think, to be that sort of Redknapp era, because you turn up to every game and like something always happened every game, whether it was a Paolo being Paolo or Monk's tackle, and that game was just an amalgamation of everything. I didn't turn up on Saturday against Bradford City thinking I'm going to be watching a game I'm still talking about 20 years later.
Crazy, isn't it? Can you believe we sent them down?
Oh, brilliant.
They lost out on a few points, didn't they?
They did. Even the Jamie Lawrence dyeing his hair red as well. I remember that vividly. It stood out.
Oh, I know. Everything about it was just different.
Yeah.
It was different. It wasn't normal, really, was it? Yeah.
It was good fun. No, it's good fun.
I met with Paul Jewell. Paul Jewell was at Derby many years later, but he never spoke about West Ham and stuff, and because he was the manager there, and yeah.
No, it was good. It was one of those funny games, which certain games which will stay, and obviously that stays in a lot of people's memories. So, definitely.
For me, they should have won that game, but it was never in doubt. You know, when they had, and then they went down by, I think, only a few. Didn't go down by much of a margin.
Yeah.
So it's fate, isn't it? It's one of them. I was meant to come on. We was meant to win. There was meant to be that drama, and it was meant to be talked about forever.
Exactly. No, it's true. It's just such a West Ham thing, and it's just like it's part of sort of modern folklore at West Ham. That 5-4 game, though, it just is.
Yeah.
No, and obviously, I mean, it's before sort of the championship seasons where I think you obviously got most of your appearances. Obviously, you went out on loan quite a bit. What's that like for a young player going out on loan? Is it enjoyable? Do you feel like
I enjoyed it. I did. I thought every time I went on loan, I did well because I actually I see the bigger picture. When you go out on loan, you're there to help that team, and you want to help those players that are in that team. You're not there to have a jolly up. You're not there to waste anyone's time. You're there to benefit yourself, benefit the team, benefit the supporters, because that's what you're there to do. So as a goalkeeper, it's rare that you get many positions to go out on loan too. So I had a few options, and I kept going out on loan. It was good, but I was realistic. If there was any chance of me playing for West Ham, I had to be playing. And these levels at your young age, you're not going to be in the Premier League as a goalkeeper. You need experience, and I had to go out on loan to play. And I thought, I'm going to go there, enjoy myself, and work hard for the team. And I'm also representing West Ham as well. I want them. You want to go there? It's like Stephen Bywater from West Ham. What's he like? How they bring in their kids up at West Ham?
Yeah.
And you're representing the Tony Carr, the whole philosophy, the ethos, and that's what I believed in. So that's why I went on loan so much, because I did a good job when I went on loan. And I represented myself in West Ham to the level that they're at, and that's the best way to do it.
It's really good. Yeah, it's a good shout. It's good way of thinking of it. It's like, I imagine for some players it's quite demoralising to go out on loan. But then for guys like yourselves, and we've had like Frank Newell, for example. I mean, he went on loan loads of times as well for West Ham. And he was the same thing. It was all about getting game time. I needed game time. I needed to show people that I was hungry. And as you said, quite a few times you went on loan, you ended up getting recalled because you were playing well, and injuries and stuff. So as you said, you're always in the shop window in terms of being getting recalled from West Ham. So it makes perfect sense. And then obviously come back, with injuries, we went down, unfortunately. Then that sort of 03-04 season, and then the following season, that's when you sort of really, that's when your most bulk of games at West Ham. And obviously we lost the Palace, the playoff final, which even now, when I can still close my eyes and see like 30,000 yellow shirts bobbing to Glad all over, I can still see it. It's just like, but what's it like for a player to be in a playoff final? It must be so.
It's exciting, but it's exciting. It's more of a process, because you've not just got to the final. The semi-finals are just as good.
I mean, the Ipswich game was like,
and the semi-finals are just as precious and just as good, not only to yourself but to the supporters. And you have to. I think you, as a player, you have to control yourself and be more like just not too excited, but not too, and you have to keep on that. And it's nice that you have semi-finals before a final, to be honest, because it's like a rehearsal. And then when you get to the final, it's another game like the semi-finals. You're going to get more spectators, more passion there, and you just need to win. It doesn't matter how. It's one of them games you just got to win. There's no drawing today, and it's like the semi-finals. There's no drawing, and we got there, and we lost, and it was like the worst. But then that you don't want to be in that position again, and if you are, you've got to win. Then it's not a nice feeling to lose any game, but a final after it's I know it's hyped up in the media, but it's hyped up more in the media now because there's more outlets and more platforms and there's more opinions and more voices. So it was exciting, and that we're a team. Alan Pardew was good. Alan Pardew was a really good coach. I liked him as a coach, really good coach. As a man, though, he's a bit larger than life, and he's a bit
chocolate. I think that's what Bobby Z calls him, chocolate.
No, he didn't call him chocolate. He called him fondant, because that's even bigger than chocolate. Fondant. It's even bigger than that, because if you're chocolate, you'd eat yourself. But he was fondant. But do you know what? I liked him. He had that aura about him that gives people belief. So I'd rather have that than someone who's quiet. And his coaching was mega. So although he was very Mourinho, I've never seen Mourinho coach, but obviously he's a good coach. But Pardew was a coach, and he used to take his time to do the individuals with the midfielders, with the individual players, not in groups. So we had it all, really. We just didn't get the result on the day.
Yeah. No, it was true, and obviously that Ipswich game in the playoff semi-final, the home tie, everyone still talks about that as one of the sort of the greatest nights in terms of atmosphere, modern day.
It was
West
rocking,
Ham.
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was proper rocking.
It was rocking. Do you know what? And the away games as well was rocking as well.
Yeah.
It was like we played Ipswich every semi-final or something. It's just like us or them, wasn't it? And it was always us.
That's good.
But yeah,
it just, as you said, it's one of those things, and obviously you sort of dust yourself off and go, right, okay, fuck it, we don't want to be in this position next year, and then obviously we end up being in that position that year, but obviously we went up, and obviously we won, and famously, you came on for the last sort of 5 minutes from Jimmy did his leg in, and again, it would have been funny, what was it like? 5 minutes to go, on you come, Steve. You're like, what the fuck? 5 minutes to go.
I was having a jog with Teddy Sheringham, wasn't I? He was on. I said, I'm coming on here, because I thought he was coming on. But yeah, Jimmy got injured, and I just came on, and it's just, to be honest though, I'd played a lot of the season.
You had,
I'd known from the season before what it's like, and the team itself had been built over a year as well. Do you know what I mean? So
definitely,
it was more established. There was no way we was going to lose this time, and we weren't going to lose to Preston either. Not being funny, but we were a massive club, and they did well to get where they were, and they did well to get in the final. And Billy Davies was a good manager. He actually signed me after that, didn't he? A couple of years later. But on the day, I was coming on. I was more experienced.
Yeah,
I was. And you know what? If you're gonna have a backup goalie on the bench at the time, I was the best. I was the best one in the whole league. Do you know what I mean? So, it was confidence, and I was okay. I just came on. Played whatever it is, 5-10 minutes, whatever it was, and then just came off and we'd won, and it was happy days, and I was pleased for everyone, and I was just pleased that we'd won, because last year we hadn't. So I'm more of a big team player, and a big supporters and the chefs and the ticket sales. We want to sell tickets to the Premier League, not the League Championship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm a big advocate of you do well if you're in a team, but you've all got to pull in the same direction together, and that's why. Do you know what? That's why I probably lasted so long in football, because I'm a team player.
Yeah, exactly. And as you said, it's like, and obviously, you could then, obviously you came there last year, and it was awful when we lost, and then coming back, and then obviously going up, and just seeing all the fans there, and as you said, you've been there a long time as well. Man and boy, basically, weren't it? To be fair, must have been nice to sort of celebrate with the fans, and just because it was so many of them as well. It wasn't like
it was amazing. It was amazing. Yeah. It was just amazing. It was just literally Cardiff was, and just rocking, wasn't it? I didn't mind that stadium for the playoffs, to be honest.
I prefer, obviously, it's quicker for me to get to Wembley than it is Cardiff, but
it's a day out, and it's nice, and when you're there, it's spacious, and it's easy to walk to the stadium like a proper. You know what I mean? You can feel the atmosphere building up.
I know exactly what you mean.
We enjoyed it. That's why we learned from the first one. We thought fans ain't going to come and support us and we'd get beat again. There's no way we would have lost that game. No way.
Nah, definitely. Because obviously Preston had done what we did basically that season, and Preston came through towards the end where we did that previous season. So they had momentum. But yeah, I know. I mean, Cardiff's a great place. It's a great place because obviously the stadium's bang in the middle of the centre as well, isn't it? So all the bars, and they split the city in half, and I think it's brilliant. Obviously, we knew where to go because the West Ham fans had been there last year.
So it's home from home, but there was I feel there was a confidence in everyone's.
Yes.
Didn't do it last year. That's forgotten. We've had a great season, and it's going to finish great. That's how it was. And remember Alan Pardew instilling it us all year. I remember the Ipswich night. He said it's a night of crosses, lads. It's a night of crosses. And the statistics were the crosses. You get the crosses into the box, final third, you'll win. And we did stupid stats on the crosses on the Ipswich. So he was confident on how to beat Ipswich. He was confident on how to beat Preston. He was confident, and it was good.
Well, I suppose it just rubs off on you as a player, isn't it? If the manager's already is up.
He'd already won.
Yeah.
He already won. Last year, there was a different vibe, and it was a newer team. So, you know, we gelled a lot better than the second year.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Right. Talking about teams. Obviously, everyone we get on, whether it's a fan or ex-player, we get them to do their Hammers 11. So,
Yeah.
you know, when they pick an 11, usually 4-4-2, it's easier, of the players they played with during their time. And obviously, you know, 8 years at the club, you had some phenomenal players you played with.
Yeah,
so it'd be interesting to see your 11. And as I said, everyone's done it. The only people who haven't done it so far is one of your former coaches, Harry Redknapp. Because he started chatting about Bobby Ferguson and stuff, and you know, like H does, and Ria Coker. He didn't pick his 11.
Why not?
Because he said, "Oh, I let the fans pick my 11." I was like, "It's a cop out. That's a cop out, Nigel. You've ever heard one?" But anyway, until Ian Bishop didn't, but Ian Bishop, because he didn't want to piss anyone off, and that's Bish. He's like that, right? So we'll do your 11, Stephen, because you know, I've really enjoyed chatting because you seem to be really open, and it's lovely talking to players. Yeah, it's good, man. Right, so loads of goalkeepers. You can pick yourself if you wanted to. Who are you going to pick in goal?
So the thing is, right? I'm thinking I'm just going to pick people I like to work with, and I saw them work. So Craig Forrest, he's the #1 goalie.
Yeah, Craig Forrest.
Do you know what? People don't know how good he was.
Really?
But the people don't know how funny of a character he was. Very funny man. I wish Shaka would have been after me.
Yeah.
And you'd have said to him, Stephen picked Craig Forrest because he was a good goalie and he was funny. And Shaka would have said, do you know what? Craig was an amazing goalie. Do you know in training that, like, he was just you couldn't beat him. Really? And then he went to the Copa Cups and he was just amazing. So, and he was the funniest guy ever. We had so many laughs with him. He was just one time we went to play Plymouth in a pre-season friendly, right? And I had these free trainers from Puma because Puma sent me some trainers.
Yeah.
And he said, Stephen, those trainers, mate, they're garbage. So me, Les Sealer and Shaka were in Les's Audi going to the Preston game because we had to do something as a keeper as we trained and we went there. Yeah. So he said, Stephen, just can you let me see them trainers? I'm going to look at these trainers here. He said, give me the other one. Let me have a look. Let me compare. He got my trainers, right? And he threw them out the window on the motorway. Right? He said, they're garbage, Stephen, mate. So I had to go to Plymouth with my bare socks on. But he was so funny. But yeah, he was just a nice guy. But he was a good goalie.
Yeah. And as you said, you goalkeepers, you just have a special bond, don't you?
Yeah, it's different. We're different. Yeah. We're different. We're on our own on the pitch.
Well, I think you are, yeah, exactly. You train, you warm up together first, and you do your own training sessions together, and you only come together when you're doing.
I think nowadays it's changing though, the way they're intermingling the goalkeepers, the outfield players, and that lot. So it's changing. The vibe's changing.
I suppose with now you've got the way. I mean, I hate it. It always, gets the willies up me. But when the goalkeepers are sort of playing it from the back, like in their own box, I hate that. Oh, it gets me.
Do you know what though? Keepers are getting better, and it's good. I like it. It's exciting. It's like, go on, nick it. Oh, go on.
Yeah. But just like I'm a man of average. I like to play the
percentages. Focusing that up, yeah like Alan Pardew in the final third, cross the ball in, you're going to win that game, and you did. Exactly. Football can be so easy, but as you said, because they have these sweeper keepers now, as you said, they're probably more in line with the back four now, aren't they? And play with the back four. So they train a bit together and get more intermingled. So it's different, but yeah,
he's still together. Right. Okay. So we'll put Craig Forrest in. Right, let's go 4 at the back. It's easier. Left back. Who'll be left back, mate?
Stuart Pearce. He's got to be in there, hasn't he?
Oh, Pearcey, God bless him.
One, because he was the most serious man on the pitch, but off the pitch, he wasn't the most serious man.
Really?
Yeah, he was all right. He was fun. I enjoyed him.
And he's obviously still doing the stuff. He's back in the coaching staff at West Ham, doing the jobs.
Yeah, but is it all right? Yeah, I've noticed that. I read that a couple of not so long ago. Yeah, but he's honestly passionate about his club.
Yeah, he's good, man. And he was part of that. We had that, didn't we? We had a little run of playing with sort of players who were coming to the end of their career. We had like Pearcey, and I think we had Chrissy Powell coming for a bit, didn't he, and stuff. And and you could probably get away with it then. I don't think you can get away with it now. You wouldn't be able to play a 37-year-old at left back. Yeah, exactly. The pace. Yeah, it's just mental. Right, we'll put Psycho in. Let's go right back. Let's go the other side then, mate.
I was going to say Thomas Repka.
Yeah,
he springs to mind because he was just passionate as well, and I liked him. very quiet, but geez, he's quiet, but he was an assassin. You know what I mean? He was passionate about his club. He'd say anything terrible or negative, he'd be on you.
Really?
And I like that. Yeah, he was like not negative at all. He was like, he used to speak in his chest. We win, you know, better, you know, really direct with what he said. But he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
But he used to train hard and he used to play hard and sometimes probably too hard. Do you know what I mean? And his emotions got the better of him and he was like, but he didn't mean any harm. He just wanted to win.
Yeah.
And not take any disrespect or anything from anyone or you know, basically easily wound up possibly because he wanted to he was an alpha male, wasn't he? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, you know, with him, he was like one of these players who was like, as you said, he wanted to win so much that it boiled over sometimes.
That's correct. Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's why West Ham fans loved him because
I know. He
and,
trained with you knew what you were getting. If he was a bad game, he'd hold his hands up, or if he was bad in training, you know, he'd hold his hands up. He'd want to go on again.
Love it. Right, okay. That's quite strong fullbacks already. He was Stuart Thomas Repka. Right. Centre backs. Interesting. Obviously, as a goalkeeper, centre backs are crucial. Who'd you have your first centre back, man?
Rio Ferdinand. Because he had everything. Pardon?
Not a bad one to have, Rio Ferdinand.
He had everything. He had everything. He was good on the ball. He was a winner. He was an athlete.
Yeah.
He had everything, and he's just literally had everything, and he was a nice guy.
Yeah.
Really nice guy, and so definitely him. Even just for banter and that, like, he's great person. You know what? And he had some tough times in the press, didn't he? About all that at Manchester United and stuff, and I never believed the word of it because I know him, and he's a straight up guy, and his dad and his family—they're all solid people.
And that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's as long as you're true to yourself, and despite what the press throw it out in it, as long as you know who you are and you're true to yourself, that's it.
Yeah, and the people who know you're a good, solid, fun, passionate guy, and that's
who did we have on? We had someone was Ian Foyer. We had Ian Foyer on.
God bless the goal. Jeez,
we had him on, and he used to go. He said he used to run around with Rio in his American pickup truck, like booming out bloody hip hop music around Waltham Abbey.
Brilliant.
Oh, so funny. Top guy. Right. Okay. We'll put Rio. Who's Rio going to partner then in the middle?
I liked Igor Stimac.
That's a great shout.
Igor Stimac.
Yeah, solid, weren't he? Solid player.
Solid, cool, nice character off the pitch. You know what? It did help the young lads out as well.
Yeah, I suppose that's so important, isn't it?
I could have picked Razor, but just thought Igor Stimac. I mean, you said it. I'm just freestyling here. Igor, I could have Razor, but for Igor Stimac, he was solid. Yeah. And you know what? Rio Ferdinand can complement him with the speed and the height and that lot, and he'd have the experience. You know what I mean?
That's a good shout. Yeah, that's a good shout. I mean, Ray, obviously we've had Razor on as well. He's a bit, It must have been quite an interesting dressing room with people like Razor and people like that.
And Ian Wright.
Yeah, exactly.
It was brilliant. Christmas dues, Omega, and it was just good. It was fun. It was old school. It was good. It was like, but you're a team. You felt like a family, to be honest.
Yes.
You felt like, Trevor Sinclair as well. You always, it's like a family. And I was so lucky. Like to be amongst all these dressing rooms, because nowadays they're all academies and development squads. They train somewhere different sometimes, but we were changing in the same changing rooms as the proper internationals, experienced people. It was brilliant. Yeah. So
exactly. And I mean, as you said, the Christmas dues were pretty legendary, weren't they?
Yeah, just because we all needed a release, because and it was in London. Even like supporters would be there, and it was like brilliant, and I just enjoyed it.
Well, I suppose, I mean, that's one thing I really miss, like interviewing lots of obviously players like yourselves who are around that time and even before, and not so much afterwards, but they just seem to be normal people.
You could sit in a pub and have a chat and watch you'd organise Christmas do who's playing on that Super Sunday that we could all watch together. Do you know what I mean? And have a few drinks and just chill out and chat and. Yeah, it was good. I loved it. Just like normal, start at 11 o'clock and have your breakfast, and do you know what I mean? It's like a Christmas day, isn't it?
Exactly. When we had Trev on, he said we were talking about that season where we finished like 5th.
Yeah.
And he went, to be be honest, I reckon we could have probably won the league that year. But if we didn't go out every Tuesday night,
he was organising it. Let me tell you.
Yeah, exactly. No, I know. Yeah, and then I interviewed when I interviewed Razor, I asked him, and he went, "Yeah, but the trouble is, the good thing about going out for Tuesday night was I never went for a cheeky beer on a Thursday because I know I could have a night out Thursday. Yeah, so
yeah."
You sort of see see both sides of the story, innit? But
there's a balance in it in life to be free and to be relaxed and to not get consumed by all the media and the kind of the pressures or the negativity. You just take yourself into we're a team, we're all relaxed, we're gonna go home, we're gonna look after ourselves, and then once a week or once every couple of weeks, we'd be a team together and we'd just have a nice relaxing drink. And some people didn't. I didn't drink all the time, and but some people did. Some people, do you know what I mean? Just being together. It's just about being together.
Yeah, it's togetherness, isn't it? Yeah, it's togetherness and team spirit. And I think and also I think it does rub off onto the fans as well because I don't know, a friend of ours, Len, Len's when these player things in player meet, his vaudeville promotions, doing all that type of stuff, they always sell out because always the fans want to meet the players because they're like normal blokes, you know what I mean? It's like you said, having a pint and listening to some stories and there's no social media about it. So it's not like, it's all been on Twitter already and these stories and, and seen it's all
falsified. It's real, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's real.
And that's what's really cool about it. Right. Okay. So put Igor in. Let's go into midfield then. Let's go left wing, left midfield. Who should we have on there, mate?
I wonder I'd like Pete. I wonder I'd Joe Cole in, so he's going to go left. I'd Joe Cole in the left because he can come in on the right.
Of course he can.
Because he was a special talent, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
And he was fun and he was honest, and I just liked him. He was a nice guy as well, and he was so skillful. But he was strong and his attitude was right, and he's proper West Ham.
Yeah.
And that's what I like. And we did, the Youth Cup growing up with him and seeing him go from Youth Cup to England and knowing him and being around, seeing how he operates. He's got to be in there. So as a West Ham supporter as well,
Yeah. And he comes across so well doing like BT Sport and stuff like that.
Yeah, he does.
So some people just can't. You don't transition well, from being a player to being a analyst or whatever. But he
get used to him, but he tells the truth, and he's got no any motives other than to speak the truth and be a passionate West Ham supporter and be a football fan.
Yeah.
So.
Definitely.
And that's nice. That's honestly, that's raw, innit? It's like yourself and like me. We like football genuinely. There's no I know we like our clubs and that lot, but we'd see things in a real way. And he does that, and he just loves football. So he's a good player though, very skillful, very young, he's very loved by everyone. When he came in, he would training would literally lighten up when he was on the games, and he'd be free.
Yeah,
and it was really good to train with, to watch, and to see other reactions of other players.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they would just literally, some of them would freeze just to see him on the ball in training. You know what I mean? They're not freeze but it'd be an instant. Oh, he's got the ball. He's exciting.
Yeah, and it's the thing: if the players do it, you can imagine what the fans are like every time.
Oh, it was exciting. Exactly. In training, he was exciting, and in the games, he was one of them players who could replicate what he did in training into games and be free. Because he was so young and so talented, he could be free, and the fans would let him be free because he was so young and passionate and talented. So he kind of got a bit of leeway, didn't he? But he never. Yeah,
he did definitely. Right, okay, I'll put Joe in. Let's go the other wing then, the right wing. Who's going to be on the right?
Got Trevor Sinclair because we mentioned it before.
Trev, God bless him.
He was great to have around the dressing rooms, and he was a good player. And West Ham had him at a good time as well.
We did
in his career. Good time. He was one for organising group sessions together. He would love helping the young lads. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He would go above and beyond to help the young lads. And he was from Manchester, and he'd look after me. And I was a young lad, and I was from Manchester, and he'd just talk to me. He talked to me.
Top bloke, you know. Top bloke.
100%. And he made the most of his talent and his pace, and he's a nice lad.
Yeah, definitely. And he does loads of stuff with he's got like an academy, and
football academy. Yeah, he's got a football academy, and my opinion is he was treated a bit unfairly in the press as well. So he's an honest guy, straight up, and I'm telling you straight, he was fine. He's a great guy. So
first hand.
And he's fair, and he's fair, and he's straight up, and he says it, he does it.
Well, it's like we did like occasionally we do these sort of nights where we all sort of pick a player. So we've done like Johnny Artson and stuff like that. And we did Trev. So we did like a night, like This Is Your Life, but for Trevor Sinclair. There's like a few videos and clips. So I messaged him because we've been on the channel before and stuff. And, you know, he's helped us out. So I messaged him and said, oh, yeah. And I said, can you do like a little video? Just say, you know, good luck tonight. Appreciate, you know, doing it. He went, yeah. He said, send me the link anyway, and I'll watch it. He came into the show, you know. Yeah, and so everyone's like,
he's proper, isn't he?
He's nice.
Proper,
he's top guy. Lovely guy. Right, okay, we'll put Tricky Trev in. Centre midfield. First centre midfielder.
Go Michael Carrick.
Yes.
Again, he was I grew up with him, and he's in his age group, and he was one that was just behind Joe Cole, as in the talent, and everyone knew he was going to just be special.
Yeah.
The way he moved, the way he glided, the way he passed the ball, and he was a freak of an athlete, if I'm being honest. A freak of an athlete.
Yeah. And obviously, you know, when we went down, he stayed for that season, didn't he? That season.
He did the right thing.
Yeah,
he did the right thing. It's the right thing that you stick with it, and you play your games, and you earn your way back into where you should be in the top flight. And he did that. You know, too many people think, oh, I'm too good for this league. He was a solid person, solid character, loved being at the club, loved the lads around him, loved going out, loved having a good time. Had a great Lisa, great partner who was just as fun, just the same character, so kept him focused. It was brilliant. He was just he just had the perfect upbringing. Do you know what I mean? As a footballer, he had a solid family. He had a good other half. He had a good brother as well. Yeah. And he loved training. He was always wanting to do better.
Sure.
And he had a few issues growing up, you know, with injuries and stuff, but John Green had fixed him right up every single day.
You know,
John Green would literally tape him up, and he just had that. He just was good. He was just good. He just never was average.
Yeah,
he was never average.
One of those amazing players that don't come around very often. You know, almost Trevor Brooking-esque in terms of just always had time on the ball.
Because that's how he played. He created his own time.
Yeah, yes.
By finding that extra yard of space or being in the right position. But that takes a skill, and he was in that right position that gave him time, and he always had a good touch, and he could always pass, but he could glide. So he could get forward and get back, and he was a good lad as well. And he was like I say, he was a freak of an athlete, like to run at what he did. He could go out on a Saturday, and he could be training on a Sunday, and he could just his stats must have been, you know what I mean? His stats must have been.
Yeah, I don't think they were doing the whole ground.
No, they weren't. But he could cover ground and be just looked effortless, didn't it? That's what you know when you say about time. It looked effortless, and it was actually best play make it look easier, and he did.
And one of those players as well that every club he's left haven't been able to replace him. It's one of those ones where, you know, like you don't know what you've got till it's gone. So when he left West Ham, they never replaced him. When he left Spurs, they never replaced him. When he left United, they never replaced him. You know, and you go, shit, we really need this person, but we didn't know we needed him until he's not there. You know, he just did the job and stuff. And he's obviously doing stuff. He's at Man United, isn't he? He's doing Man United.
He's like a coach there, isn't he? Yeah.
Fair enough. Right. Okay. So Carrick is in. Mickey Carrick. One more spot in midfield.
It's got to be Frank Lampard on it. You know, it's boring to say because everyone says Frank Lampard, but he was that good. You know what I mean? He was that good from being that bad. If you know what I mean. Not as in bad, but he was a grafter, and he made the most of his talent. Yeah. And then what he did when he trained with better players, he became the best player there. Sure. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he knew what he had, and he was an athlete first, a freak of an athlete again, but he was determined because he knew he wasn't elite, so he made himself elite. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He made himself elite by grafting. Yeah. Because he had it in him, because I believe everyone's got the potential to be what they want. If obviously you've got to have some genes and desire, but he maximised everything he had. And he was special because he had a focus and a determination like an absolute. He was an animal. Do you know what I mean? To run how he did, and he had a great right foot, and he literally got better when he moved from West Ham. Yeah, he was excellent, but literally he raised the bar. And you understand if you're working with someone, I don't know if you're in an office or you're someone and you see, or an artist or something, and you see how they work. You're kind of learning from them, and your talent gets better. That's what he did. He was an artist, and he just got better and better, and then he kept getting better.
Yeah,
and it was good to watch because I saw what it took for him to get better.
Yeah, you saw the groundwork being done, like first.
I saw the groundwork. I saw the groundwork. I saw him come in. Saw how he was in on a Sunday with his dad, grafting. The only player to have spikes on a peg that I've ever seen in 20 years of football. You know what I mean? You must have heard that before.
Yeah,
He was the only person who had spikes. He literally would be an athlete.
Well, I suppose he's always, and obviously everyone's about obviously his dad and stuff like that. It was almost like he had that work ethic from his dad, but obviously he probably thought, even more so, I've got to prove myself even more because of my dad. And
but his dad knew what he took. His dad knew what he took. His dad would see his son and thought, he's got potential, but in order for him to get the best, he needs to work harder than everyone else, and he did that.
Yeah.
So his dad helped him big time, but he'd have done it himself anyway. Yeah,
no, I totally agree. Right, okay, let's go up front. Two strikers. First striker then, Stephen.
Paolo Di Canio, the best player I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Best player I've ever seen in my life. On training, the passion, his tiramisu that he brings in at Christmas when he doesn't go home because he cooks.
I've heard about this tiramisu. I've got to find his. It's in his autobiography. I've got to find it.
Is it? Yeah, he's good. Very good. Really nice. Top professional. Top professional. Has banter, but on a Saturday he's passionate and he just wants to win. And he must hate everyone on a Saturday because he just knows he's better than everyone on a Saturday. And if he was playing with everyone else that was on the same standard as him, life would be easier. So he must have been, every Saturday was Paolo Di Canio's frustrated.
Well, we got that. You felt that in the crowd, didn't you? And he had like a Paolo moment, or whatever we used to call him.
But he was the best player. I promise you, he's the best player I've ever seen. Natural talent, two-touch, head tennis, passing, finishing, athlete as well. Nice guy as well, but just he had that edge on him, when he had a bit of edge to him.
Yeah, I think everyone I think that's when you have, it's relatively easy to be a West Ham West Ham player respected by the fans if you put the shift in. But it's like if you put the shift in, you're passionate and you have that edge as well and a bit of talent. That's sort of like this melting. That's like everything for a West Ham.
He had everything,
exactly.
What? He had everything. He had the best talent. He had the best passion. He had the best nastiness in him on a pitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He had the best desire to win.
Yeah.
Because it was like I'm playing on my own, lads, and you're all helping me.
Yeah.
And you're all not good enough, but you've all got to help me because I ain't got another 10 players like me. So I'm going to go on the pitch. You're never going to be anywhere near me, but I've got to deal with you. And then when you do something wrong, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to tell you again. And then before you go out our time, I'm going to tell you again. He was brilliant. So
yeah, and a complete bag of spanners. Just like he just seemed such a crazy guy. Like
he wanted to win, and he was just passionate, and he'd come in, but he was so nice as well. So
yeah.
I think balance.
I think it was Bertie. I think Bertie was his boot boy for a bit.
He was,
and when it came to Christmas, obviously everyone gets a little Brucey bonus.
Yeah.
And then Paolo said to him, Bertie tells he still can't believe it. Paolo said, Bertie, come here. And he got out, he's opened his car and handed him these pair of football boots with no laces on that were 2 sizes too small for Bertie. Merry Christmas. Bertie's like, what am I going to do with these? Everyone else got like 100 quid here, 200 quid here.
Yeah.
Oh dear, but yeah, no, crazy man. But still so passionate about West Ham as well. Right, okay. One more spot up front.
I'm going to go Freddie Canute.
Do you know what? That is a great shout. And I'll tell you why. I did a little 11 the other day of people who. This is, I think it could be almost. Well, it's almost our 250th interview. If it's not, so it's quite. So we've done quite a few, and I did an 11 of people who only been picked once. Freddie Canute had only been picked once.
Are there?
So there you go. He's been picked twice now. Oh, it was a fan. It was a fan.
Was it?
A fan. But yeah, but I mean, when he signed, because it was that he played that Wimbledon game. That was his first game, the famous game. And I remember going, do you know what? We've got our own Henri here. This is our Thierry Henry.
He was special, wasn't he?
Yeah,
do you know
really
what?
Special player.
He lit the crowd up.
Yeah,
I just remember he lit the crowd up on his first 2, 3, 4 games. And I remember him bringing the ball out of the sky and he just chesting like that.
Yeah.
And he'd hold it up and he'd play it off and he'd run right? I remember the crowd saying, "Sign him up, sign
Yes,
him up." Do you
exactly.
remember?
Yeah. He was on loan, wasn't he? To start off with,
Yeah, sign him up. And do you know what? He was the nicest guy ever, but
Yeah.
he delivered. I thought he delivered when he was fit and he was right. He delivered and helped the team like no other forward could at that time, unless you bought big time.
Yeah.
Like you say, the Henry. He was a very good forward.
Yeah.
And he gave us an outlet. And every time the ball came up, I just remember him rising and chesting and holding it up. And I just thought, you know what? You're talented. He was fast and he would chase. So that's why I just thought, you know, he'd compliment Paolo.
Yeah, they did. They did compliment each other, didn't they? And
But don't forget Freddie Canute. Don't forget him. He was a good player.
He was a great player. He was a brilliant player. That's why, you know, when I put this 11 together and it was like, shit, only one person. It's only because you look back because, you know, I put everyone's sort of, you know, 11s. I put into my little spreadsheet and I just pulled up a list of one. I was like, fucking hell, Freddie Canute. I only picked once. And it's like, you know, he's one of those players who was in between sort of certain, like the Hartson era.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know, and so, but he was brilliant. And like going back and watching, I was like, oh, you know, then you have to Google it, then you a bit of YouTube.
He lit it up, didn't he? He lit it up for those, even for those weeks or those months. Sign him, sign. I just remember every week for like 3 weeks, sign him up, Harry, sign him. He was like, you got to sign him. Even I'm like, you've got to sign this guy. You've got to sign this guy. You've got to sign him tonight. That's what I thought, and that's what sticks in my memory. How good he was.
Yeah, he was a great player. Great player. Right, that's it, man. Brilliant. That's lovely. Thank you so much for your time, Steve.
No, thank you very much.
I know you're really, really busy, man. You're only sleeping in 45-minute sessions. You told me.
100%. Oh, I'm knackered, but you know, it's got to be done, innit? It's got to be done. I'm literally trying to be the footballer that goes into business and does well in football and just smashes business. So I want to be that person. So yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. And obviously, thank you very much. Thank you. And thank you everyone watching on YouTube or Spotify, whatever. Give it a like, give it a share. And until next time, from myself and from Stephen, take care, everyone.
Yeah, all the hammers. Come on, let's get them up
there.
Come
on, you Irons. I'll see you again very, very soon. Take care, everyone.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.